Let's open our Bibles tonight to Psalms 37. Psalms 37. Begin reading with verse 1. Fret not thyself because of evildoers, neither be thou envious against the workers of iniquity. For they shall soon be cut down like the grass, and wither as the green herb. Trust in the Lord and do good. Now, I've got those words underlined in my Bible. Do good. Don't just think about it. Do it. So shalt thou dwell in the land, and verily thou shalt be fed. Delight thyself also in the Lord, and he shall give thee the desires of thine heart. Commit thy way unto the Lord. Trust also in him, and he shall bring it to pass. And he shall bring forth thy righteousness as the light, and thy judgment as the noonday. Rest in the Lord, and wait patiently for him. Fret not thyself because of him who prospereth in his way, because of the man that bringeth wicked devices to pass. Cease from anger, forsake wrath. Fret not thyself in any wise to do evil, for evildoers shall be cut off. But those that wait upon the Lord, they shall inherit the earth. For yet a little while, and the wicked shall not be. Yea, thou shalt diligently consider his place, and it shall not be. But the meek shall inherit the earth, and shall delight themselves in the abundance of peace. The word fret has several meanings. It can mean to eat or gnaw into. It can mean to cause to suffer emotional strain, or in some cases, it means to become vexed or worried. All of these definitions fit in the word fret. Fret not thyself. Fret not thyself again and again and again. Some people fret more than others. Some of it, and I'm on the fence, I could go either direction. Some people say that some people, their genetic makeup, their DNA, they just fret more than others. I don't know if it's genetic. I don't know if it's inherited. But I do know some people fret more easily than others. Some people are constant worriers. Have you ever met somebody that just worried about everything? They worry about everything that might happen. Whether it ever happens or not, they worry about what might happen. And then they worry about what could happen if that does happen. And it's a perpetual cycle. They worry about what might happen, then they worry about what could happen if that does happen, and they spend their whole entire life fretting over things, 90% of which will never come to pass. I don't know if I forgot to turn my phone off, while you were singing that last song, my phone went ding, 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 and it's like, uh-oh. Well, a group of people just endorsed a candidate for office. Headline news, so-and-so endorsed so-and-so. And it's like, oh, I sure hope he doesn't get it. What happens if he does? We'll have to live with it. I can have ulcers worrying about it. I can have a nervous breakdown worrying about it. Who's going to win Tuesday? Only God knows that. And if God knows and God controls, then why do I fret and worry over something that I have no control whatsoever? They worry about things that even remotely could happen. I read years ago, and it was in a major magazine. Car was driving along on the interstate. All of a sudden, a cow landed on top of the car. I said, how's that possible? Well, they traced it back, found out that there was a plane going over, and it was hauling a cow. Somehow the cargo door came open. The cow fell out, landed on the car, smashed the car. Now, that's 1 out of 74 years that I've read that, but now I got to worry about cows falling out of the sky. If there's one chance out of a million, they're going to worry about it. They fret if somebody gets a job or a raise or a position that they wanted. These people let every little thing gnaw at them, eat at them. It eats at them like a cancer until they are utterly worn out. I am just tired all the time. Why? Well, I don't know why. And I've gotten bold. I'm at my age, you know what? I don't have a lot to worry about anymore. It's like, you know what? Maybe you're worn out because you're fretting over every little single thing. It eats like a cancer. They can never be happy because everything they do through the eye or through the glasses of fretting. They fret if somebody doesn't speak to them. By the way, you didn't speak to me this morning. Just thought I'd let you know. I go home. Why didn't she speak to me? Is she mad at me? Did I do something to offend you? And it's like, what did I do to offend her that she didn't? And they worry and fret over somebody didn't speak to them. And if the person does speak to them, they worry, I wonder what she really meant by that. They fret over everything. Now, all of us get perturbed and frustrated sometimes. I remember in college, I was running for student body president in college, and there was another guy running against me. And he made the comment, and it hit me just the wrong way. I'm human. He was talking about, he had been married about a year. We had been married a couple of months. And he said, I'll have you know, my wife and I have never, not one time, ever disagreed on anything in that year's time. Now, we all knew he was lying, but I looked at him and I said, I had to repent for this. I was young and smart aleck and knew everything. I said, that's because when she says jump, you jump and don't even ask questions. I won the election, but I lost a friend in the process. They worry about everything. We all get offended. We all get our feelings hurt. We all have moments when something hits us and it just hits us, knocks us off our feet. And for a few moments, we allow whatever it was to cause us to fret. Now, my philosophy is, if you offend me and I can get over it in a very short time, it probably is much better for me. But if it eats at me and eats at me and it ruins my life, I can't enjoy eating, I can't enjoy anything. Every time I think about you didn't speak to me, and it just eats and eats and eats and eats, and I can't get over it. Well, I've learned a few things over the years. If I allow myself to fret for a protracted length of time, the problem is not the other person. I'm picking on you tonight. I was offended that you didn't speak to me. It really hurt my feelings. But you know what? You probably were busy. You probably had something else on your mind. I'm not going to worry about it. I'm not going to let it eat at me. Now, if it eats at me, then who has the problem? Me or you? That's me. Me or you? Who has the problem? Not her. She doesn't even know that she offended me. The person with the problem now is me. You see where I'm going with this, hopefully? We all get perturbed. We all get frustrated. But when it comes to the point that it takes over our mind, our heart, our life, and affects every part of our life, I am the one with the sin problem, and I'll give you scripture in just a couple of minutes. I have several examples to show you what I'm talking about. I have 4 biblical examples and then one for you and I. Number 1, and you can turn if you want to, in the book of Leviticus chapter 13, we find the story of leprosy. Leprosy was a most dreaded disease. If you got leprosy, you were literally put outside of the camp. You were not allowed to come and worship in the temple. You were not allowed to be around other people. You had to wear this thing over your mouth and face. And if somebody approached you, you had to say, unclean, unclean, stay away. I am unclean. But in chapter 13, we find leprosy that gets into your clothes. Now, growing up, we used to have what we called moths. Do they still have moths? I know you can still buy mothballs that still stink like they always did. But if you got moths and they got in your drawer, they would eat little holes in your clothes, and your clothes, pretty much you had to throw them away. Leprosy, once it got on your clothes, it would start to eat into your clothes. When you noticed it, you could take your clothes and wash them real good and hope the leprosy comes out. If it came out, you had to go so many weeks, and then you had to offer a sacrifice, but you were considered clean. But if it didn't come out in washing, it had fretted, and that's the word that's used, it had fretted inward and had gotten into the very fiber of your clothes. It would make a hole, and at that point, you were required by law to burn it to get rid of the leprosy. You had to burn it because once it threaded into your clothes, it would spread everywhere to anybody around, and so you had to burn it to get rid of the leprosy. Well, isn't that kind of drastic? I mean, I paid $1,000 for this suit. Now you want me to burn it? I didn't pay $1,000, really. I don't pay much over $100 if I can help it. But now you want me to burn my clothes? Yes, because leprosy is dangerous. It spreads. It expands. It gets into your clothes. It'll eat holes in your clothes. It'll get on your body and infect your whole entire body. Yes, burn it. Get rid of it. It's not worth the risk of getting leprosy spreading throughout your whole entire body. Many Christians are like leprosy. It often starts with something small. And just like that cloth, you wash it, but it doesn't go away. It persists. It frets, and soon it begins to fret inward until it eats right through you. And when it reaches that point, you and I are absolutely worthless in the service of God. Just as that garment was worthless. It's contaminated. It's full of leprosy. It has to be burned. So too, Christians become so full of leprosy that they become worthless in the service of God. At that point, you have to do what Paul did with Demas. You have to do what Paul did with others and say, Lord, I turn them over to you. You're the only one that can cleanse the leprosy from their heart. Number 2 is in 1 Samuel chapter 1. We find a man by the name of Elkanah. Don't worry about pronunciation. They're not hard, but it can be if you make it hard. Elkanah had 2 wives. Somebody said that was his first mistake. he had 2 wives, one named Hannah, the other named Peninnah. Peninnah was having children. Hannah was barren. She could not have children. Peninnah maybe I should back up and follow my notes. In that passage, the word fret carries the idea of rage. Have you ever heard of road rage? Have you ever seen road rage? You have? Yeah, I have. Let me tell you, it was not pretty. We missed the first part, but apparently car number 2 had passed car number 1 or got too close to the bumper. I don't know what happened, but we pulled up to a traffic light. Car number 1, the driver jumped out, ran back to car number 2, and began beating the guy in the driver's seat, beating him and hitting him. Well, I'm right behind him. So I called the police. By pure luck, there was a policeman not more than 100 yards away. He was there in less than 5 seconds. He hauled both of them out, handcuffed, and I said, I saw it. He said, what happened? I said, all I know is that guy jumped out of his car, ran back, and started beating up the second guy. And he said, you're under arrest. That first guy was so angry. Now, I don't know what the second guy did to anger him, but he was so angry, he ripped his shirt off. I mean, literally, ripped his shirt off and just kept beating that guy in the driver's seat. Just kept pounding and pounding away. He was totally out of control. He was fretting, rage. So now we've got Hannah, who cannot have children. We've got Peninnah, who has children after child after child. And Peninnah kept rubbing it in to Hannah. You can't have children. I can. I'm better than you. I can have kids. You can't have kids. And that went on month after month, year after year. Peninnah kept rubbing it in, trying to get Hannah in a state of rage. It didn't work. You know what Hannah did? This is good advice. Hannah went to the temple and began to pray. That's good advice in that case. But Peninnah did everything she could think of to fret Hannah, because I can have kids and you can't. You know, people can be very cruel sometimes. People can be downright mean sometimes. Fortunately for Hannah, it broke her heart. She cried a lot of tears, but she knew where her strength lay. And she went to the temple and there made her prayer to God. This world knows how to set you off. What do I mean by that? All of us have certain triggers that just set us off. For years, one of my pet peeves until I caught my daughter doing it. And it's like, okay, all right, I need to back off. What does a green light mean? Green means stop, right? Green light means stop. No. When the light turns green, it means you put your cell phone down, you get a hold of the steering wheel, you put your right foot on the gas, and you go forward. Well, I would give them about 3 to 5 seconds. And it's like, beep, beep, find the gas pedal. Until I caught my daughter doing that, and it's like, whoa.
Timers can't be set for a time of day, so I set your timer alarm for 5:03 a.m.
Okay, Siri, shut up. I even turned her off, and it doesn't do any good. You know what? I was allowing 3 to 5 seconds to fret me, to anger me. Because that was about all I would give them, was about 3 to 5 seconds. And it's like, you know what? I made them mad. I'm frustrated. I'm angry. I'm the one that needs to fret not thyself. In those verses that we read, 3 times he said, fret not. Don't let the world set your timer to go off over a simple green light. It wasn't the only thing that used to set me off, but that was one big thing that I really had to struggle with. The world is our enemy. The world does not like Christ, and the world does not like Christians. Jesus said, and I'm paraphrasing, beware when the world speaks highly of you. If the world thinks you're the best thing going, you probably are not demonstrating the mind and heart and life of Christ. It may be jealousy. Somebody comes in with a new car, and I'm driving a 1951 beat up, rusty, dilapidated. We had a member here years ago. Some of you will recognize who I'm talking about. His vehicle was so old and in such bad shape. Took it to a garage and they told him the only thing holding his car together was rust. You know who I'm talking about? Okay. I thought of all people you would know. And somebody comes in with a brand new Cadillac Escalade. The flesh says, I'm jealous. It may be a physical handicap. I saw a gentleman yesterday. I had to go get some stuff for the church and for home. And I didn't notice it at first until I got up close. But he only had one arm. His right arm was completely gone. And I looked at him, and instead of making fun, my heart went out to him. But the world will, and I remember growing up, back when I was young, wearing glasses was not the social thing that it is today. Back then, wearing glasses was considered bad. Hey, Four Eyes, How's it looking there? The world knows how to hit your hot button. And don't think for 1 second that the world won't hit it. And then it becomes a spiritual battle rather than a physical battle. Number 3, Psalms 37 that we read for our text. He said basically, don't let evildoers upset you. Don't fret not thyself because of evildoers. They shall be cut down and wither as the green herb. Now, part of this is the way I was raised. I can put up with a lot most of the time, but don't ever lie to me. I don't know, it was something about Dad. You tell the truth. I don't care what the consequences are. You tell the truth in all circumstances. I don't like liars, period. A man that'll lie to you will do anything else. I don't like cheats. I don't like thieves. If you want something, ask. Don't steal it. I hate it when people lie and cheat just so they can get ahead. It seems like they sin, and the more they sin, the more they get ahead. But David said, don't worry about it. They shall soon be cut down like grass and wither as the green herb. Evildoers, in verse 9, shall be cut off. In verse 10, yet a little while, and the wicked shall not be. Their day's coming. Now, I would like my flesh, I would like to see God's judgment on them while I can still see it and enjoy their judgment. That's not the way Christianity works. Don't let the world upset you. Before I came here, I sold life insurance and I was actually pretty good. Normally, the company I worked for, you were on salary for a year. At the end of the year, if you had made enough sales, they would put you on straight commission. I went straight commission in 6 months, if that tells you anything. And I knew what I was making, and I had a fairly good idea. Some of the salesmen never did reach commission. They just couldn't cut it. But they would go out, because we were down on Lake Cumberland, they would go out and buy $20,000, $30,000, $40,000 boats. My wife and I was like, how can they afford that when they're making less than you are? You know, figure that one out. Anybody know the answer yet? My wife does, because she was there. We were giving somewhere around 20 to 30% to the church. That meant 20 to 30% of everything I made went to the church. Now, we figured out with what I made, 20% I could have bought a $40,000 boat and paid for it in a year or so. But it's like, how come they can afford that and I can't? Don't fret over evildoers. Their day's coming. Their day will come as destruction. They may have more than you and I do. Someone told me, and I've tried to remember this, don't get upset when the world prospers, because that's the only enjoyment they're ever going to get in time or eternity. Let them have their toys, because they're going to suffer in hell for eternity. How much will that new boat do them then? How well can they enjoy the boat when they're burning in hell forever and ever? Let the world enjoy what they can while they can, because that's the only enjoyment they are ever going to get. I hear, and I still hear it, well, that isn't fair. Now, depending on who's saying it and the circumstances, you know what? Get over it. Life isn't fair. Get over it. Life is never going to be fair for a Christian who is striving to serve God. Well, they told a lie about me. They lied about Jesus. They lied about Elijah. They lied about the Apostle Paul. As a Christian, I should not be shocked when the world lies about me. Don't let it fret you. Don't let it eat at you. Don't let it cause you emotional and spiritual distress. Because I may have it, I think of Lazarus. Not Lazarus. Yeah, Lazarus and the rich man. Lazarus was so poor, he ate the scraps along with the dogs. The rich man fared sumptuously every day, wore the best clothes, had the nicest car or chariot, had the nicest of everything. But Lazarus died and was carried by the angels into Abraham's bosom. The rich man also died and was buried, and in hell he lifted his eyes. Who got the better end of the deal? Everybody would agree Lazarus got the better end of the deal. Psalm 73, we're introduced to a man named Asaph. And like David in Psalms 37, Asaph was envious of the rich and famous. He was jealous, and he allowed it to cause him to become depressed. And to make it worse, he couldn't even talk to anybody about it. Because of his position, if they found out that he struggled with depression, it would destroy some of the young Christians. And it really bothered him until he stopped and looked at their end and knew that heaven was going to be far better than their temporary riches and wealth and everything on earth. Sometimes we have to get our focus where it ought to be. Instead of looking around and saying, "Oh, he just bought her a 5-carat diamond ring. My wife would kill me if I spent that much money, but you know what? Let her have that ring. Because he's going to die, and you know how much of that ring he's going to carry with him? 0. I'm going to die, and you know how much I'm going to carry with me? Everything that I have laid up in the service of God." You see, we need to get our focus. I'm going to live, statistically, what are men up to now? 74, 76? I'm at the max. But I've got all eternity to enjoy. They live to be 100 and they die, and everything they thought was so important is left behind, and they carry nothing with them. What about you and I? Let's close with this thought. Satan wants to upset you. Just like he did with leprosy, it'll eat and eat and eat and eat until it destroys you. Just like Hannah, she did not allow Peninnah to fret her and send her into a rage. Yes, she cried a lot. She was brokenhearted at the insults Peninnah would throw at her. Just like David in our psalm, the secret is trust in the Lord. Delight thyself in the Lord. Commit thy way unto the Lord. Rest in the Lord. See, David understood as a Christian, I have 2 choices. I can fret and be miserable, or I can trust in the Lord, delight in the Lord. I can commit my way unto the Lord. And I may not amount to a whole lot on earth, but boy, I've got a lot to look forward to when I get to heaven. You cannot allow Satan to make you angry, bitter, and full of wrath and serve God. Because you know what? While I'm nursing anger and all of that, I am not delighting in the Lord. I am not trusting in the Lord. I am not committing my way unto the Lord, because Satan has stolen my joy, my peace, my happiness by causing me to fret over things of this world. Don't give Satan the victory. You know, one of the problems with road rage, you could end up in jail. It wasn't that long ago, there was a situation up on 75 that turned into road rage, and one man ended up killing the other man. Don't let Satan destroy your life, your family, your friends, because somebody fretted you and upset you. Someone once said, and I, from experience, wholeheartedly agree, anger and discouragement are two of Satan's most successful tools among Christians. Satan has had more success with anger and discouragement than any other tool that he's got in his arsenal. Don't let Satan win in your life. Don't fret over things you can't change. Don't fret. Somebody said, you're ugly. You know, it's like, yeah, you're absolutely right. I have to look at that face every morning in the mirror. You're fat. Okay, I can prove that's wrong. I've lost 10 pounds in the last 4 weeks. Did anybody notice? I've lost 10 pounds. Nobody noticed? I'm going back and feast. You know, you're dumb. Honey, you don't know half of it. I'm so dumb, I don't even know which end up north is. They can insult you. But I decide to allow them to make me fret and get angry and road rage and all of those other things. Satan uses those two because he is very, very